I am back. I apologize for that. Apparently, this hotel, inexpensive hotel, has very weak Wi-Fi. So what I did is I actually switched over to my hotspot on my phone, which is apparently working way better than the hotel's Wi-Fi. All right, guys, I have a very good report regarding a probable positive timeline
Yeah,
where,
you're
of
fine.
course, the galactics had to intervene because the world governments did not dismantle, and they, of course, did not listen to the galactics as far as not creating or escalating the world conflicts. And so, in the event that the conflict that, of course, is happening right now, where many countries are actually beginning to get involved. I know it seems like we might be heading into a global conflict, but just know for sure that even if that were to occur, the galactics, 3i Atlas, the Jupiter command would apparently intervene. Okay, so in this positive earth timeline, where again what's left of the cabal, they pull their final gamut, which is creating a third world cataclysm, a nuclear war. They would The galactics would apparently intervene right before any severe weapons would be unleashed, and they would dismantle and neutralize. First of all, they've already dismantled and neutralized all nuclear plants, so there will be no nuclear weapons. The only thing that these world governments have left to play with is, of course, intercontinental ballistic missiles and other rockets and missiles. Okay, but in the event that they were to use those, then they would also be dismantled, and of course, all of their other weapons, so that there will be no war. Now, in that timeline, not only do the Galactics dismantle the entire world artillery, but they also make their appearance worldwide. All of a sudden, we see massive ships everywhere. Okay, so I have a report regarding what 3i Atlas has been doing for the last 3 months, and this is a perfect time to talk about this because this was one of various positive Earth timelines that, again, in the event that things do escalate in that direction, then of course by default we would meet the galactics. Okay, and at that point it would be very impossible for the world governments to conceal the facts that we were never alone in the universe. So that is part of the positive timeline trajectory. First and foremost, before I get started with the presentation, I want to welcome everyone. Thank you guys so much for being here, not only for those that are on the chat right now, but also those that are going to watch this on the replay. Again, without you guys, I wouldn't have anyone to give information to, nobody to report to. So thank you guys so much for being a part of this journey with me. All right. Secondly, my new set of courses, which are very cheap, very inexpensive, only $100 per class, 3 Ascension courses, and of course my groundbreaking class, our Cosmic Origin, are all up for grab, beginning the 21st and the 22nd of this month. So I can't wait to hopefully meet a lot of new students, so that I could also get to know your story as well. And before I also get started with the presentation, I also wanted to remind you guys that the Folium link is always in the description. And of course, at the end of the live, I always pin it in the comments. So, oh, and for those that don't know what Folium is, I noticed that due to my interview with Emilia Ortiz, which was phenomenal. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it. That was actually dropped yesterday. But due to that interview, I noticed that I have 2,000 new subscribers within the last 24 hours. So I just wanted to welcome you guys for being here. And again, if you guys are interested in a product that actually detoxifies your body from the graphene oxide, the nanoparticulates, the chemtrails, the radiation, the parasites, there is this holistic, again, product that I've been offering for the last, I guess, year and a half, and I always put the link in the description. So I believe in being really cleansed at this time so that we could take in these solar lycos that are coming in at an increasing rate. The transformation of the species is happening as I speak. The first waivers are about to hatch, so I'm super excited about that. And so, yeah, I just want to welcome all my subscribers and, of course, everyone that is part of this journey in the Great Awakening. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about 3i Atlas. I know I haven't reported on 3i Atlas for the last 2.5 months. And the reason being is because of the fact that right now, for the last month and a half, 3i Atlas has been docked right around Jupiter for this very reason. And one of the reasons why 3i Atlas never left our solar system in is because of the fact that, again, in a particular certain timeline, what's left of the cabal, they do try to initiate a world conflict event, which of course in turn would force the galactics, due to galactic protocol, Earth is meant to ascend, and that would force them to intervene. So for those that are new to my channel, a little bit about 3i Atlas is, first of all, is not here to, abduct the star seeds or gather the star seeds. That was the biggest psyop in the last 6 months. It's not full of reptilian Dracos. No, and they are not the returned Anunnaki either. 3i Atlas is actually us from 200,000 years in the future, coming back to the Nexus moment in order to preserve their timeline and every other timeline in between. It turns out that 200,000 years from now, our planet evolves into what is known as a Type 3 galactic civilization, where it is actually operating from the center of our galaxy. And in this case, our planet is known as Aurelius Prime, also known as the, of course, Aramatena Earth, which operates at the center of our galaxy. Okay, so from the center of our galaxy, the vessel 3i Atlas was launched. And yes, planet Aurelius Prime does orbit around the Sagittarius A star system, which is right next to Ophiuchus, which is where the toroidal field of our galaxy is. So that's what 3i Atlas is. It is us from the future returning on its periodic assessment. Apparently, it has done 6 prior assessments before coming back this time, and it always seems to come right at the end of a dark age, right at the end of a dark age, in order to help with the reactivation of the living grid, with the reactivation of the hidden codons, what we call the dormant DNA, and of course, working in collaboration with the Solar Council, the Jupiter Command, and in this case, also Solar Warden, which is the deeper layer of what we call the Earth-based Space Force Alliance. Okay, so 3i Atlas is apparently an interstellar command vessel that has taken its position at the outer periphery of the Earth's immediate cosmic neighborhood. As mentioned, it is docked near Jupiter, and that's what it's been doing for the last couple of months. In addition to that, 3i Atlas has also been sending dire warnings to the Earth governments, especially those that are still somewhat controlled by the cabal families, warning them that, of course, if they initiate or do anything that would escalate the situation to a world conflict, then they would have to do or conduct a divine intervention, an emergency intervention of sorts, you could say. So we might be experiencing that timeline. Who knows? We might not. All right. But overall, there was some treaties that were signed. And I will be sharing those treaties with you to assure you that technically we really don't have anything to worry about. Okay. So apparently, to the ordinary observer, 3i Atlas still remained unseen. Okay. There hasn't been too many reports by our astrophysicists. That is because it's shielded behind frequencies that are beyond human and perception. Okay. But within the halls of power on Earth, its presence has not gone unnoticed. And I'm talking about the small element of the secret governments that use advanced alien technology. Okay. So within these halls, these elements have actually been receiving signals, transmissions, communications from 3i Atlas, warning them that if things continue to escalate, that 3i Atlas has a whole armada of Star Nation fleets hanging out around the Kuiper Belt and around the Oort Belt. And if need to, they would, of course, be ready to make themselves known. Okay, so over the last several months, guys, They've been sending to the Earth governments subtle communications that have been transmitted through what is known as quantum channels in order to certain actually representatives within the Earth's governments. And these signals are not threats either, okay? They are basically, nor are they commands imposed by force. What they are is a warning, okay? They're letting our world governments know, you guys have done so harm to the planet. You guys are on our last, you could say, card, okay? If you guys do anything to pull anything off that will not allow for the ascension of your planet, we will intervene, okay? And that is the message that 3i Atlas has been transmitted to these, of course, inner halls within the governments. So these are, again, they are warnings. They are very clear. They've been very calm, very diplomatic, okay? And apparently they are unmistakably urgent. So the message carried by these frequencies that have been transmitted from 3i Atlas, two key elements within the world governments, is that humanity does stand at a threshold of ascension, okay? They've already made the assessment. They saw how a great number of people are snapping out of their program. They are waking up. And so we cannot be allowed to derail the evolutionary leap of an entire planet based on the stupidity of a small group of people who are still suffering from, ego-driven narcissism, okay? So according to the galactic records, guys, that are preserved within the Solar Council archives, 3i Atlas, first of all, is not a comet for all my new subscribers. It is an interstellar vessel, okay? It is a mobile interstellar diplomatic platform. It is a gatherer of records all throughout the universe, not just the Milky Way, okay? It is representing a coalition of star nations that have watched the Earth's development for thousands of years. The craft has been arriving quietly, of course, within the gravitational domain of Jupiter, or has been existing there quietly, choosing the gas giant as a strategic anchor point within our solar system. And so from that position, 3i Atlas is coordinating with the Jupiter Command. And for those that have been following me for quite some time, you know that the Jupiter Command is an ancient guardian authority that operates within, of course, the hidden installations in the jovial system, which are the outer planets, okay? And together with the human representatives of the Solar Warden Earth delegates, which is the positive secret space program, they have actually formed what is known as a tri-council responsible for overseeing the stabilization of Earth during its transition into a higher energetic bandwidth, okay? So Atlas also did not arrive alone. It turns out that this whole time, the other vessel, Swan, which was apparently 100 times bigger than Atlas. The reason it was here along with Atlas is that Swan was, of course, inhabited by multiple spacecraft that are representing all the different corners of our universe. And so those spacecraft are now, or they have been for the last month and a half, 2 months rather, almost docked near, of course, the Kuiper Belt and the Oort Belt, okay, for this very reason, in order to prevent a global escalating conflict. So as a result of that, we could say that 3i Atlas from the get-go, since they were spotted back, in July of last year, 2025, according to Avi Loeb, it has always been accompanied by vessels, or rather armadas that have been representing the multiple star nations, at least those that are aligned with the one infinite creator, from different parts of our universe, and have been stationed throughout our solar system in silent formation. Okay, vast fleets apparently have occupied strategic positions along orbital corridors within asteroid fields as well. So not only they docked in the Kuiper Belt or Oort Belt, which is the outer periphery of our solar system, but apparently they also have massive vessels that are, again, that are docked within the asteroid field, okay, and at the heliospheric boundary as well. So these forces are not positioned for conquest or occupation. Okay, I know that there's people out there that are saying that. No, remember, guys, that we've already been invaded by the evil aliens during Atlantean times. Okay, now a mass multidimensional cooperation is being conducted to liberate our planet from the what we call the draconian hydro reptilian rule. Okay, so these vessels that are now penetrating our solar system, and they have been for the last 2 months, right? They're all coordinating with 3i Atlas being like the main mother vessel. They're all doing it for protection rather than interference, okay? And so as the Earth approaches this energetic threshold of ascension that we are all waiting for, the planet is becoming increasingly vulnerable, guys, not only to human conflict, but also to interdimensional disruptions that historically occur during planetary transitions. Now, what do I mean by that? As the Earth gets ready to transition into the higher layers of the Earth, there are not only the 12 stargates that open, but as a result of the 12 stargates that open, all of a sudden, all these other portals begin to open as well. And so not only are these higher interdimensional forces that are coming from, again, multiple parts of our universe, working with 3i Atlas, not only are they securing that the 3D humans don't blow themselves up, but they're also securing our solar system from when these gates open, from having other interdimensional forces perhaps coming from other universes. So they're blocking them from preventing the ascension as well. Okay, so that's another thing that the galactic armadas are actually doing here in our solar system. They know that the portals are about to happen. They know that we're all going to go through this shift, which is a vibrational shift or a frequency shift. So they also know that when these portals open, that there is a rift between the space and time fabrics of universes, and so that's why they're here. They're making sure that no entities from other universes that are unascended universe also do not interfere. Okay, so the Jupiter Peace Accord, guys, I've been talking about this for months. All right, they just finalized a final accord, and so in recent communications that were transmitted through secure diplomatic channels, we're talking about the 24 Solar Warden admirals and the 12 Earth Alliance generals. Atlas has delivered a proposal now known among certain insiders as the Jupiter and Atlas Peace Accord. Okay, and what this is that this agreement calls upon Earth's governments to refrain from initiating any large-scale global conflict during this critical phase of planetary transformation. This accord recognizes that humanity's political tensions remained unresolved, yet it emphasizes that a world war at this moment in cosmic history would, of course, fracture the energetic grid, not only of the planet, but it also would have repercussions across time and space through entanglement, okay? And not to mention also delay humanity's evolutionary progression that has been happening for generations since we fell from the times of Atlantis, okay? We've been on this gradual climb, right? Starting over without memory, without technology, going through the different phases of the Paleolithic era to the Mesolithic era, and then finally to the Neolithic era, and then to the modern era, climbing out of those dark ages. So they've recognized that all this progress from the fall of Atlantis to now, knowing that we are now at the finish line, is very crucial that we make. Okay, it's very crucial that we pass the finish line. So the peace accord that was finalized on Jupiter was apparently delivered jointly by 3 authorities, and this is and of course, this is what these jet streams are, by the way. Scientists have been reporting that these jet streams have been coming from 3i Atlas. Well, these jet streams are the form in which 3i Atlas has been actually sending these transmissions to the governments of our world, or at least the people behind them. Okay, so the first authority that signed this, all right, which again will allow the galactics, in the event that things escalate, will allow the galactics to have a emergency intervention, right, was of course the Jupiter Command. All right, and for those that don't know the Jupiter Command, it is the ancient solar guardian outpost that was established when the Galactic Federation of Worlds was first initiated its establishment millions of years ago due to the Orion Wars. Okay, so we established, of course, a solar system outpost here that was part of the Interstellar Peace Alliance. So that's what the Jupiter Command is. Okay, and of course we have also 3i Atlas, which was representing, or who is rather representing, the Interstellar Star Nation Alliance across the entire universe. And of course, we also have Solar Warden, who are the Earth delegates. Okay, the human representatives aligned with the Earth Alliance, like mentioned, the 24 Solar Warden admirals, and of course the 12 Earth Alliance generals. So those are the three authorities that signed this accord, which and together, of course, they have urged, as they continue to urge world governments, to step back from the brink of catastrophic warfare. So the warning is being carried within the message, has been firmed for the last 2 months and measured as well. Okay, so in Earth's leadership, in the event, let's just say that Earth's leadership will not or cannot maintain the peace that was established through the White Hats, right, with the peace deal that Trump implemented a month ago. If for whatever reason the rest of the Earth leadership cannot maintain by the peace deal during this transitional window, there will be galactic intervention. Okay, and galactic intervention may even become necessary if this happens, in order for what? To preserve the planetary ascension cycle. So, as the world leaders continue to, again, try to fight one another, the cosmic guardians have already taken precaution. I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail, but literally right now, as I speak, not only our entire solar system permeated by Starfleet vessels working with Swan and 3i Atlas, but even within Earth, guys, they have put these high tech, you could say, shielding guards right around the Earth that are getting ready to dismantle and turn off even the intercontinental weapons, missiles, all of that. None of that will work in the event. Okay, not only that, but they also have vessels that are actually surrounding the Earth right now. All right, and this explains why some of the satellites, all right, some of these astronomers are actually reporting a lot of unknown craft right around our planet. Okay, and also bear in mind that Space Force has given them permission to intervene in the event that something happens. So the Earth Alliance is very aware. They are very aware of all the vessels that are surrounding the Earth at this time. And then, of course, most of them are cloaked, so it is very impossible to actually, you could say, record them, right, or even detect them. So what's happening right now is that the fleets that are surrounding the solar system as well have activated what some, I guess, insiders describe as a protective lattice of energetic containment. Now, why are they doing this with our solar system too? Again, because when the veil lifts, I'm buffering. What about now? Better? Am I back on?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. When the veil lifts, right, and the 12 time warps or the 12 gates open up all the portals, right, all of a sudden, the different veils, you could say, that separate the different dimensional bandwidths are going to dissolve. At the same time, there is you could say, an opening up within the fabric of space and time, So the reason they're blocking our solar system is because when the Earth stargates open up for the transition to take place, there could be entities from other universe that could have access to our planet due to the fact that the portals would be opening up. Okay, the transitioning portals into the different layers of Earth reality. So that is the reason why they also put a protective lattice of energetic containment, blocking any other universal beings from other universes from impeding with our ascension, if it makes any sense. So this grid apparently operates across multiple dimensional frequencies, and it serves several purposes. And these are the hosts of heaven, guys. These are the hosts of heaven that are here making sure that this earth becomes paradise world again. Okay. So the first thing that this energetic grid is doing is that it is stabilizing the electromagnetic environment of the earth during the rising wave of cosmic energy that has been entering our solar system. Okay. Secondly, it is blocking external hostile forces that may attempt to exploit humanity's internal division. And third of all, it is ensuring that the ascension sequence, which is an evolutionary process encoded deep within the Earth's planetary consciousness, can actually unfold without sabotage from interdimensional actors who historically have interfered with emerging civilizations. So apparently, every time a planet ascends, when the portals open, that's when the planet ascends, right? The entire solar system actually also ascends. There is, again, there is a opening between the fabric of space and time. In other words, there is an opening for just a few seconds. There is an opening in between universes. Okay, so apparently they have to, make sure that there's no intervention from other universes. So, in essence, the fleets that are stationed under Atlas command now form a cosmic shield, quietly safeguarding the solar system during the turning point or the greatest turning point in human history. So the message transmitted from Jupiter as well carries a profound implication. So for the first time in the Earth's known history, humanity is not alone, okay, in determining the outcome of our future. Civilizations that have long observed our world are now actively invested in its survival and transformation because it's all interconnected. We are entangled with these other civilizations. In fact, Earth is the nexus point. I think I've said this in many other presentations. So what happens here affects all of them, okay? And so civilizations are here. Many civilizations are here to not only help, but also to observe and kind of like a scientific report, write down and analyze how we or what happens when we undergo this transition, if that makes any sense. All right, let's continue here. So the Atlas mandate also does not seek to control the Earth's destiny. Instead, it actually serves as a cosmic reminder that the path of destruction is no longer an acceptable one. Okay, it's not an acceptable option for any civilization approaching interstellar maturity. So if humanity chooses cooperation over conflict, and again, when they made their assessment, they did see that a large chunk of us chose cooperation over conflict, right? The fleets stationed across the solar system, across our planet, will remain silent witnesses to the Earth's rebirth. Okay. But of course, if war threatens to engulf the planet, which there is a possibility of that, again, within this positive timeline, the galactics, right before things do escalate or get bad, they have an emergency intervention. They take out what's left of the cabal. It's like their own way of doing an EBS. And they just kind of make themselves known to us. Okay. And all of a sudden, everything changes within days. We go into a Star Trek society. So if war continues to threaten to engulf the planet and endanger its evolutionary threshold, the Guardians are standing, all right? They're standing in every position and they've made it clear to the world governments that that is what they're going to be doing. Okay, so again, they're not here to conquer us. Our world has already been conquered. Okay, our world has been under the draconian reptilian hierarchy for the last 10,000 years. So um, it is important to know that. Okay, they are the returned host of heaven. And in a little bit, I'm actually going to compare them with some of the biblical passages regarding, of course, the angelics, the host of heaven, and so on and so forth. So they know that Earth is no longer just a divided planet struggling with its past. They know that Earth is evolving into something greater. Okay. And so they know that our world is preparing to take its place among the stars. And they always have known that. Okay. That's why they never left the scene. So it is important to know that 3i Atlas has never left. It's still here in our solar system. And it has been serving as a mobile interstellar embassy and command platform that was positioned within Jupiter's gravitational domain. And yet, of course, our Earth governments have nothing to say about it within the last month and a half. All right. All of a sudden, everything about 3i Atlas just shut. Well, that is because of the fact that they have not been heeding their warning. Okay. 3i Atlas has been sending clear messages. And when you compare this to metaphysical accounts that have also been circulating through the Earth Alliance Solar Warden delegates, the fleets currently stationed throughout the solar system belong to a coalition that they refer to as the Solar Council of 144 Civilizations. That is fascinating. Okay. And again, these 144 civilizations pertain to our local star cluster. These civilizations that have originated from regions across, of course, we are part of the Syrian arm of the galaxy, have always been with us. Okay. They've always been with us. And among those that have said to be present within the coalition are not only emissaries and fleets that are associated with ancient star cultures whose influence on human development appeared throughout all ancient mythology, spiritual traditions, and cosmic records, but also our closest relatives to us who look a lot like we do. And that is the brothers and sisters from the Pleiadian star system. Okay. They are heavily involved in this rescue mission. Now, the Pleiadians, known for their long-standing involvement in the genetic and spiritual development of humanity, have been standing with us since Atlantean times. In fact, many believe that the positive Anunnaki were those that carried a high concentration of Pleiadian, Syrian, and Lyran genetics, as opposed to reptilian, draconian genetics. So we also have, of course, the Council of Andromeda. Okay. The Council of Andromeda has fleets that specialize in planetary liberation and sovereignty protocols. And they have been with us again since day one. In fact, a lot of the ancient biblical accounts have talked about these archangelics. Well, guess what? The Ark of the Covenant was a portal between Earth and the Andromedan realm. Okay. Among other realms, of course. But the Andromedans were the ones that gifted us with the Ark of the Covenant. So we also have, of course, the Arcturian Science Orders. And these are a community of advanced interdimensional physicists, masters of dimensional physics and energy stabilization technologies that are also here assisting 3i Atlas and the Star Nations. Not to mention, we also have the Syrian Guardians. The Syrian Guardians that are linked with, of course, the ancient Egyptians and early terrestrial civilizations, advanced terrestrial civilizations. Not to mention, guys, the Lyran founders. Now, the Lyran founders are considered among the earliest human civilization within this region of our universe. And for those that are new to my podcast, I am a galactic and cosmic historian where In my class, our cosmic origin, I break down all of the galactic wars. In fact, I break down the entire cosmic history of the multiverse. So you could access that course through my website, our cosmicorigin.com. So overall, guys, all of these star nations, especially the ones that I just mentioned, have contributed their vessels, their diplomatic envoys, and protective fleets to the armadas that are now coordinated through 3i Atlas and, of course, the Jupiter Command. So since the positioning of Atlas near Jupiter since last December, right, the end of last December, observers within the Solar Warden program, which is the Positive Secret Space program, have actually reported that the activation of what is known as the interstellar protective grid across the solar system has also been a success. Okay, so which means that when the Earth's portals open, right, and we are ready to transition or move up in the ascension ladder, that there will be no intervention. Okay, I've already mentioned that a few times. It's important to know that. This grid is not a physical barrier, but an energetic containment network that actually operates through advanced frequency modulation technology. So it is impossible to breach. Okay. In fact, this is what they call a ninth dimensional technology and above. It actually functions across multiple layers of dimensional space simultaneously, creating a stabilizing field that actually protects Earth from all external interferences. So during this planetary ascension cycle that we are about to experience, periods when, of course, according to ancient cycles, these are known as periods when civilization undergoes a rapid shift in consciousness and energy. Apparently certain stabilizing forces historically attempt to infiltrate the outcome of the transformation. And this was actually something that happened in the past. Okay. So this time they're not letting this happen. These forces can apparently originate from rogue extraterrestrial factions, non-physical entities that are operating in adjacent universes, parallel universe realities, or even some artificial intelligence networks, super advanced artificial intelligence networks that seek to control developing civilizations. All right. They also try to always sabotage an ascending civilization. So the fleets right now that are stationed throughout our solar system are now tasked with preventing such interferences. Therefore, strategic command vessels are occupying positions near the asteroid belt, the heliopause boundary, and the outer orbital regions of Saturn and Uranus. Now, I did reveal for the first time a month ago that we actually overthrew the inverted Saturnian Council, thanks to the Jupiter Command. Symbolically speaking, Zeus has overthrown his father, Kronos. All right, Kronos is symbolized as time and control. Jupiter signalizes freedom, right? The overthrow of corruption and tyranny. So it is important to know that the Council of Saturn has also been restored back to the forces of light, and the Council of Uranus as well. And so their presence is creating this, this boundary, this energetic, you could say, armada of defense forces, is creating a multi-layered defensive parameter designed to ensure that the Earth's ascension process unfolds without disruption. Okay, so one of the most remarkable developments in this unfolding cosmic alliance that is taking place right now between all of these different interdimensional beings, including our own, right, is actually the inclusion of human representatives within the Solar Council structure. Within the last 20 to 30 years, human representatives have been represented or are being represented within the Solar Council of the Jupiter Command, which is very, very fascinating. Okay, so for decades, certain covert aerospace initiatives sometimes referred to collectively as Solar Warden, have quietly prepared select human personnel to interact with off world civilizations in terms of cooperating with us. Okay. These individuals have served as diplomatic liaisons between Earth's governments and the wider interstellar community. So, within the framework of the Jupiter Peace Accord, these human delegates now operate as official representatives of the Earth Alliance. So they are above the 12 generals, okay? And so they are also participating in discussions alongside members of the different Star Nation coalition. And all of their role is very critical, okay? Their role is very critical right now. They are ensuring that humanity's sovereignty remains intact while also allowing Earth to gradually integrate into a broader cosmic community. Okay, because that's the end result for the positive timeline trajectory, is the restoration of the Earth. So through these interactions, information regarding Earth's evolving role within the galactic neighborhood has begun to circulate among the councils. Many civilizations have viewed the Earth not just as another inhabited planet, but as a cosmic convergence point, a planet where diverse genetic lineages, cultures, and evolutionary experiments have merged over millions of years. So, in many ways, Earth represents a living archive of galactic and intergalactic history. All right, the living library. So, as tensions continue to rise among the human governments, or what's left of this, again, small elite or small cabal that think that they own the planet, as tensions continue to rise among these last idiots, let's just call them that, the Solar Council has issued a message that carries both caution and hope. The Council recognizes that humanity is navigating through this crazy period of political transformation, technological upheaval, and of course, spiritual awakening, all happening at once. Okay. These transitions are, of course, natural stages in the development of emerging civilizations, especially a spacefaring civilization, right? We are getting ready to not only transition into a type 1, but within a matter of years, leap into a type 2 civilization, into a stellar civilization. However, the Council has also emphasized that the current moment represents a rare evolutionary window. Cosmic alignments, solar energetic cycles, and even planetary resonance changes have created conditions that allow the Earth to shift into a higher vibrational state more rapidly than at any point in recorded history. A global war at this stage would not just destroy nations and humanity, it would actually destabilize the energetic architecture of the planet itself, and in turn have dire effects, of course, across the cosmos. Okay, so for this reason, guys, the message transmitted through 3i Atlas to the Earth governments is cleared. Peace is no longer just a moral choice. It is a cosmic experiment, a cosmic requirement. It is a cosmic requirement for planetary evolution. And should humanity honor, not humanity, but that small group of people, if they choose to honor the terms of the Jupiter Peace Accords, then the fleet stationed across the solar system will remain guardians at the threshold, allowing the Earth to undergo a peaceful transition without intervention, ensuring that the Earth's transition into a new era proceeds safely, okay, if they honor the terms. However, if they don't honor the terms and they try to take this to the next level where countries are launching their missiles, then they're going to have to intervene. And by then, the whole disclosure lid would be fully open. The ships are going to be everywhere, worldwide, for billions to see. Okay? As they mentioned, if these old patterns of destruction prevail, the Solar Council has already made it clear, guys, that the preservation of the Earth's ascension timeline will take precedence. In other words, it will become a fact over political conflict. Okay? So in either way, we're destined to ascend. Now, for thousands of years, guys, human beings have been locked up, have been looking up for thousands of years. We've been looking up at the stars and wondering whether intelligent life existed beyond the boundaries of the earth. Well, now it is believed that, according to the Atlas mandate, the greater question may be something far more profound, okay? That humanity is no longer asking whether we are alone. We are not, because we know we're not, okay? Instead, the galaxy has been asking whether humanity is ready. And the answer is yes, we are ready, right? We are ready to move beyond the cycles of war that defined our human history. We are ready to accept a place among the many civilizations that have measured their progress not by conquest, but by the evolution of spiritual consciousness. We are ready to become a species capable of safeguarding a world that has become one of the most watched planets in the universe. That's our world. And for as the fleets maintain their silent, right, their silent watch beyond Jupiter, the message continues to echo through the corridors of power on Earth. So everyone's watching. The fleets are all here. Okay. And so the ascension is inevitable. The ascension is inevitable, guys. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about how interdimensionals operate, how they go from different dimensions into other dimensions, or how they go from reality into other realities. So, I also wanted to share some really deep information regarding how the interdimensionals pretty much travel densities, realms, layers of reality. Okay. So, um, there is the difference between space-time manipulation and interdimensional physics is what I want to be talking about right now. Really quick, I just want to kind of get you guys familiarized with how this advanced technology works. And so it is believed that these advanced civilizations, extraterrestrials, and higher dimensional intelligence actually travel between realms. Okay, they go through what is known as portals, right? They have the ability to bend space and time and go from one reality to the next. Well, it appears that this phenomena uh, to us looks very extraordinary, right? Some people don't understand how that happens, right? So, metaphysically, it is believed that they arise from two completely different mechanisms of reality. Okay. So, understanding this distinction allows us to see how the universe operates through multiple layers of existence, each governed by different principles of physics and consciousness. So, when it comes to bending space time, it is fundamentally a physical process, believe it or not. When you think of advanced theoretical physics, space time is not an empty void, but a flexible fabric. All right, it could be bent. When you learn about the quantum layer of reality, right? So that can also be curved. Okay, it could also be curved. Space time could also be curved, or even warped by massive energy fields. Okay, so that's how they open, or yeah, that's how they open holes between alternative realities or alternative universes. Um, this concept, of course, emerges from the principles of gravitational curvature. And yes, gravity is very real, guys. Okay. The earth isn't flat. Gravity exists all throughout the universe. It is one of the fundamental forces. So, as I was saying, this concept of bending the fabric of space and time emerges from the principle of gravitational curvature, where matter and energy distort the geometry of space and time. So, highly advanced civilizations possessing technologies far beyond our current capabilities could apparently manipulate the fabric deliberately. Okay. And so, by generating immense electromagnetic or gravitational fields, they could actually compress space time in front of a craft and expand it um, and expanded beyond it. Okay. So effectively, this allows a vehicle to move across vast cosmic distances without technically exceeding the speed of light. And I think this is one of the technologies that Linda Moulton Howe has been revealing or disclosing regarding deep quantum tunneling, which is a technology that is already being developed by the US government or Space Force. So, in this sense, bending space time is a transportation technology. It remains entirely within the physical universe and does not require leaving the dimensional structure of our reality. A craft utilizing space time manipulation is still operating inside our continuum, just navigating it more efficiently. So, interdimensional beings represent something entirely different. Rather than traveling through space, these entities exist in a different layer of reality altogether. So their home environment may be actually located in a higher vibrational dimension or in a parallel universe or in an adjacent phase of existence that normally remains invisible to human perception because their dimensional framework differs from ours. They do not rely on propulsion, warp drives, or conventional physics to appear here. Instead, they enter our space time through points of dimensional convergence, which is what's going to happen when the Earth ascends. Okay. Commonly described as what? Portals, stargates, wormholes, dimensional corridors, natural energy vortexes. Well, these openings function like membranes between realities, where the frequency of one dimension intersects with another. When such a gateway opens, any of these portals, stargates, you name it, okay, a being from outside of our dimensional structure can actually step in directly into our time space field, or what they call space time field. Well, one of the most profound implications of interdimensional travel has been its relationship with time. In our universe, time appears to flow linearly, right? Well, that's just the third dimensional bandwidth of our universe. Our universe is also layered in higher realities that are imperceptible to the naked eye. So we have the fourth dimensional universe, the fifth dimensional universe, six, seven, all the way to the 12, right? Beyond that is eternity. So our universe, at least the third dimensional universe, appears to be linear, right? Past to present to future. However, many metaphysical traditions and advanced theoretical models suggest that time is actually simultaneously. It's also going from right to left, right? It's happening all together, existing as a vast landscape of events rather than a single forward moving stream, if that makes any sense. So, beings that exist outside of our dimensional framework are not bound by the same temporal constraints that we are in the 3D. So when they enter our space time through portals or dimensional gateways, they may emerge at any point along our space time or our timeline, rather. So to them, the year 1200, to give you guys an example, to the ETs, the higher dimensional beings, or those that exist in other layers of reality, the year 1200, 2026, or even 3,500 may simply be different coordinates within the same field of reality. Think about that, okay? But an interdimensional entity could appear in humans' ancient past, interact with present civilizations, or emerge in humanity's distant future if they wanted to, all without experiencing time as humans do. So, from their perspective, they are simply stepping into different moments of our history. Now, this distinction is essential when it comes to the space time manipulation. A technological method used by advanced civilizations is that they operate entirely within our universe and they have access to the different layers, or what we call the different dimensional realities, okay? Especially if they are coming from a very high level of existence. They have access to a spectrum of realities. Primarily, they do use um, a type of technology that allows them to transport across cosmic distances within 1 second. And of course, for those that are spiritually advanced, you know that that is what they call the star tetrahedron Merkaba. So bear in mind that the negative entities, those that have lost their ability to use the original technology, the star tetrahedron um, Merkaba, instead have replaced their ability to travel interdimensionally by employing artificial intelligence or external technology. Okay, so there are different methods used by both negative beings and positive beings. The positive beings use the natural vehicle, the natural light body. The negative beings rely on external technology, and to an extent, they begin using AI to go from one reality to the next. So, um, overall, portals and dimensional gateways are points of energy that open up in between adjacent Earth realities, parallel universes, and so on and so forth. In other words, bending space time is comparable to sailing across an ocean, while interdimensional entry is more like stepping through a doorway into another world entirely. So, as humanity advances scientifically and spiritually, which we are, right? Once again, spirituality and cutting edge science is integrating, right? Another indicator that we are ending the dark ages, going into the golden age, right? As they were also working together in prior epochs. So, as humanity advances scientifically and spiritually, these concepts are slowly beginning to converge. Physics is actually discovering, guys, that reality contains more dimensions than the three of space and time that we've perceived. And of course, meanwhile, ancient traditions have always known about this. They've always spoken about this, right? How there are beings that move in between worlds, between realities, appearing and disappearing through sacred gateways, right? Of course, they reduce these beings to calling them angels or demons. Well, what if I tell you guys that the angels are the positive beings, the Pleiadians, the Andromedans, the Arcturians, the Lyrans, the Syrians, and the demons are the draconian reptilians? Think about that, guys, okay? It's all one and the same, okay? The future of human understanding may reveal, at the rate we're going, that our universe is not even a closed system, but part of a vast, multidimensional ecosystem of consciousness and life, expressing itself on different layers. So within that greater cosmos, civilizations may travel through space by bending time, space-time, while others enter our reality through portals that connect dimensions beyond our current comprehension. Both phenomena do point toward a deeper truth, and that is that reality is far larger, more layered, and even more mysterious than humanity has yet fully realized. Well, at least the greatest number of people. Of course, a lot have realized that, right? Especially those that have taken my Ascension courses. So it is important to understand that a lot of these interdimensional beings, which of course all of the world's greatest religions have condensed into just angels and demons, were also recorded in every ancient account that predate these modern Bibles. Okay. If you want to go back to ancient times, okay, and the reason I'm saying this is because Congressman Representative Anna Paulina Luna is really kicking butt as far as uh, revealing a lot of the information that she has found recently. And so a lot of this is part of the disclosure. It turns out that right now, as I speak, there are many theoretical physics that are physicists that have already suggested that the universe may contain more dimensions than the four. Okay. And so, if this is correct, and we all know this is correct, we are on the, you could say, cusp, right, on the verge of a new planetary renaissance, okay, which again will restore all of these advanced technologies and catapult us into a space age civilization. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys have read a lot of the ancient texts and learned about the Watchers, the ancient Watchers. Well, not all of the Watchers were evil. And the reason these interdimensional extraterrestrials, which wrongly were classified as gods and goddesses in ancient mythology, were all considered watchers, is because they were supposed to guard and protect the planet. And of course, the human design that was planted on this planet and watch it evolve. But we all know that a group of the watchers rebelled against that original plan, right? And they began to exploit the human DNA and create hybrids and so on and so forth. So, to give you guys an example, we read about in the book of Enoch, right, which is the ancient Jewish text that talked about that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were good looking and decided to have kids with them. Well, that's an example of the fallen watchers, okay? However, the book of Enoch does describe that there was a faction within the watchers that obeyed God and did not descend and wreak havoc among the human race, right? And so it is believed that right now, as I speak, there is a huge deep dive taking place between a lot of the whistleblowers that are coming forward and disclosing the AP, no, the UAP phenomena, and of course the advanced technologies and the different groups of aliens that we've been working with. But they're also cross-referencing them with a lot of the left-out books in the Bible, like the Book of Enoch, when it comes to the Watchers, the Nephilim, and of course the sons of God, the B'nai Elohim. Well, when you read about the B'nai Elohim, those are the celestials, those are the Watchers, those are the Anunnaki, right? Even the untampered Sumerian tablets talked about how there were two factions of Anunnaki. You have the positive Anunnaki, and then you have the negative Anunnaki. And overall, these factions war amongst themselves, right? That was recorded in every ancient account. And even more so, right, regarding the positive extraterrestrials. We all heard about the visions of the prophet Ezekiel in the Hebrew Bible describing luminous structures moving through the sky, accompanied by wheels within wheels and radiant energy. Okay, those are the good ones. Apparently, the prophets of old were working with the positive angelic Anunnaki. So, while traditionally, we have been led to understand all of this as symbolic, the more we compare and cross-reference everything that the new evidence is telling us, everything that we are now discovering, the ancient stories of the gods and the goddesses, and the war between the evil gods and the good gods, it was all described, of course, in all of these Old Testament accounts, that these people were no other than extraterrestrials. That's what they were. Okay, they were never gods. I just wanted to point that out. And so, similarly, the concept of angels appearing all of a sudden, in every text, in the Quran, the Bible, I mean, the Bhagavad Gita, the ancient Rig Vedas from the Indian accounts, they all talked about these celestials using sky transports, the Vimanas, wheels within wheels. Elijah saw chariots. Guys, right now there's a huge um, you could say, what's the word I'm looking for? A huge connection that is happening right now as a result of Congress disclosing the fact that these beings have always been here, if that makes any sense. There's a huge cross reference taking place, a huge integration between cutting edge whistleblowers with the information that they're disclosing, and of course, in comparison to the ancient accounts written in all these texts. Now, I think I've been talking for an hour and a half. That is a long time. I think I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. I went a little too more than the hour and 10 minutes. So I am going to take Q&A now. I know I normally just speak for about an hour and then do 30 minutes of Q&A, but apparently now we only have about 15 minutes of Q&A. So let's get to Q&A. But I needed to share all of that with you guys because we are living in some amazing times. So I do want to give some shout outs before I answer some questions. I do want to welcome all 3,000 people that are in the house. Thank you guys so much for being here. I see William Ryan in the house. I see Baby Blue Notes. Thanks so much for the super chat. I see Peggy Baker is in the house. Cosmic Cave 2.0. Who else is in the house? Mary Haven, Ricky Lee 1111, Melissa Harper, William Ryan, all the usuals, Angela, Jill Hunt, and who else is in the house? All 3,200 people that are in the house. 36 John in the house. Oh, and by the way, thank you so much, John, for transcribing all my lives. I appreciate that. Who else is in the house? GM Tooks is in the house. Yoda Lady is in the house. Roseanne of Villardo. And last but not least, Patricia is in the house. And Aaron is in the house. Welcome all 3,200 people that are in the house. I hope you guys are having a fantastic blood moon evening or morning or afternoon. Again, so I hope you guys had an opportunity to take advantage of those energies that were released as a result of the eclipse and the red blood moon. And I hope you guys really enjoyed that last meditation we did last time. I did a live 2 nights ago. And thank you guys for participating. Now I am going to take the super chats. The first one is coming from Marty. I am bringing the love and light for the greatest good. It doesn't get any better than this. Thank you, Ishmael. You are welcome, brother. Second super chat is Nathan Taylor. What happened if a 4D human has a baby with a 5D human? Human, does the baby go right to 5D? Well, nowadays, because we are about to transition, right? The gates are going to be open. The portals are going to be open. the Ascension portals I'm talking about. All of these babies, all of these kids that are coming in right now, guys, are coming in with their full brain operating, right? Left and right, fully integrated, higher brain function, no reptilian R complex. So they're going to be obviously evolved souls. So yeah, I would say that they're going to go into they're already going to be born from those higher dimensions. So they're going to be integrating into the 5D or above, depending on where they came from. I do want to message was retracted. All right. More questions. Thank you so much, Valentina Pavel, for your donation. Thank you so much. Donation. Why were the Draconians allowed to enslave humanity for thousands of years? Very good question. Well, we live in a free will universe, okay? Why did God allow for Lucifer to rebel? Why did Prime Creator Source allow for that chunk that broke off of him to become the Archon consciousness, right? I mean, these are all questions, guys, that a lot of people have, but when you really think about it, the experiment in duality, which is when the singular consciousness, which is all that is, right, undergoes polarity, it does so that through contrast and opposition, it could actually expand and grow. And that's the reason why duality, polarity, or even evil is always on the losing end, because everything ultimately collapses back to singular consciousness. All right. Even evil is working for God. That is the best way to describe it. Even evil is working for God. So yes, everything happens in cycles. Okay. The reptilians were isolated to our world when they infiltrated the Anunnaki through Enki, the bastard son. And so the Galactic Federation in those days, who were already bringing peace to the rest of the galaxy, needed to isolate our little world when the Draconians took over our affairs. So that's the reason why everything happens for a reason. But they did it knowing that a time would come would when the draconians time would again be up and our world would once again be liberated. And that's what's happening now. So everything happens for a reason. I do want to welcome or thank Peace Full Warrior for their super chat. So grateful. Your channel popped up on my timeline last month. I had questions with my transmissions and in learning, and I've been learning a lot as I've been bringing on your videos. Nice. Lots of information for me. Also purchased both books. Thank you. Namaste. Right back at you. Thank you so much. And namaste. And enjoy those books. Enjoy the knowledge. Thank you, Cianon, for your super chat. That was very generous of you. Who else is here? You guys are so welcome. I'm getting on so many thank yous and so much love here. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are so welcome. I am so glad that I was able to depend on my what is it called? My phone spot, right? My personal hotspot, because for whatever reason I was losing Wi-Fi here in this hotel room. I am so glad I was able to share today's transmission. All right, let's continue here. Nathan Taylor, thank you so much for your super chat. He says, well, what if a person does not ascend from 4D? Do they go back to 1D to start over? No, they don't. If they don't ascend to 4D, that's just, I think you're speaking in reference to the Earth Terrans. The Earth Terrans that don't choose to ascend to the 4th D by virtue of being wicked, being a narcissist, or just not being a person who wants to do the right thing. Unfortunately for them, they will be reaping their karma in the technocratic dystopian timeline. But no, things are no longer going back into lower dimensions. The way everything is that things are normally propelled to go into an upward spiral of ascension. Okay, so consciousnesses that have evolved from the one dimension, which is the consciousness experiencing life as a consciousness of a mineral, into the second dimension, which is experiencing life through the consciousness of a plant or tree, or a stone or rock, into the third dimension, experiencing life through a mammal, an animal, and then finally into the human kingdom. Technically, they have to continue rising. Okay, so they don't go backwards. If they so choose to not act accordingly, or to at least be 51% service to others, all they do is for karma they're inflicting, if that makes any sense. How would you know if you are an old soul? Well, all the old souls are what many refer to as star seeds, and you guys all volunteered to come here from a higher dimension. Again, if you guys want to know about the star seed cosmology, or the origin of the universe, the different dimensions, and really just regain your memories back as a star seed, I would strongly suggest taking my course, or Cosmic Origin. That is the most mind-bending course I would say on it. It's really, really deep with galactic and cosmic information. And then I also have 3 Ascension courses. I have one for beginners who want to navigate from going from the 3D into the 5D, who want to learn about the cultivation of the inner self and how to reach what we call self-realization and enlightenment. And then I have Ascension 2.0 for those that want to learn how to manipulate time, space by connecting with the quantum field and activating the light body. And then Ascension 3.0, I teach you guys the most advanced metaphysics of how to access the higher energy bodies and ultimately begin to integrate the oversoul into the physical form, okay, so that you can operate at your full capacity. I call class 3.0 embodying the cosmic self. This is really good. So the class is not just lecture, it's also very interactive. I get to talk to you like we're on a Zoom. It's only $100 per class. It's very cheap. And most importantly, guys, I teach you guys techniques, especially in my Ascension courses, okay? So I do have to end the live just because I've noticed that my Wi-Fi is looking a little buffery. And so I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your night. I'll take one more super chat. Thank you so much, Stuart Williams, for your super chat. Okay, I'll take one more question. One more question, and then I'll end the live. Christopher says, "Hey Ishmael, I got our Cosmic Origins book on audio. It is unbelievably awesome. Great job. You are welcome." Yeah, my books are available through Amazon or through my website for all my new subscribers. But I would start with The Secret Government. That one's a little bit more digestible, okay? Unless you've already been into the galactic stuff and advanced spirituality, then like start with our cosmic origin. And yes, guys, I know I opened up a can of worms on Friday or on Monday night White Hat Report when I talked about how we all have 11 other extensions of fractals of us that are operating their own. The entire evolution of consciousness from the point of fragmentation to uh, and how it all works. Okay, so Saturday night, guys, I'm going to break down a lot of information regarding uh, the different fractal use, okay, and how ultimately through the ascension process, all the fractals begin to reintegrate into a higher consciousness. All right, one more super chat. Thank you so much, Nick Nolan. Why were the Tartarians destroyed? Were they a threat to the Cabal? They were not to a different